Morning, guys. So it is like 7:30 on Saturday. This is Winterathon weekend, which is basically an exclusive readathon that Sasha does on her Patreon every once in a while. So Sasha from the channel The Wild Sasha. So this weekend the theme is Big Book. Now I no longer have big books, or I no longer have any books that are over 500 pages long. So I'm gonna fill them up with creative interpretations of big. Now I am going to also attempt a 24 and 48 hour readathon, meaning that over the course of 48 hours you're reading for 24 hours, but I'm already failing because I woke up at 6 to start and it's already 7:30 and I still haven't done anything. But so we'll see. I don't know what sort of like the minimum requirements are for me to consider this weekend a success. I know what would make me consider it, either managing 24 and 48 or finishing all three books that I have on my TBR, but I'm also pretty unsure whether I'm actually going to be able to reach either one of those goals. So we'll see. We'll see how I end up feeling at the end of this. So as we're going through these books, I'm going to introduce them to you, but I am not going to do too much talking about one of these because I'm going to be doing a separate vlog for that one because I'm reading it as part of my judging duties for the BookTube prize. But so, time for me to get up, to get my breakfast, do some reading, and then I'm going to work out. So I also have 2 workouts this weekend, workouts and showers that need to be scheduled into this whole trying to get to 24 hours in 48 hours. Wish me luck. So we're like 10:30 and I have basically only done one reading sprint so far, but in that one reading sprint I did like get like a quarter of the way in one of the books, but it's the book that I'm not really going to talk about too much, and that is The Membranes by Chi Tau Wei. I am reading this for the BookTube prize, and so I'm going to give a super brief premise for this one, but basically if you want my full thoughts on this, wait until I come out with the vlog for the BookTube prize. But so The Membranes by Chi Tau Wei is a Taiwanese novel. I believe it is a queer classic. Don't know exactly when it was published, but based on some of the things that are said about like the early 2000s, I'm pretty sure it was probably published before that. And in this one, it can kind of be read as an ecological novel as well, because due to climate change, humanity has had to go underground. We are now living under the ocean. We are living in the sea basically, and we are looking at this woman who seems to be running a dermal care institute. She's estranged from her mother, and that's all I know at this point in time. But so I know it's a queer classic, so I don't know exactly how that's going to roll out. She's very much somebody who stands on her own and is very much isolated from the people around her. But we'll see as the story gets further along. But I'm really enjoying it so far. I've flown through that first quarter of the novel. Do know that it's like an under 200-page novel. So it's not like I've read so many pages yet. I've just, it's just a short novel. But so I'm going to be doing another reading sprint now. I've done the workout. I have had the shower. I need some sort of a protein now to help with muscle recovery. But then I'm going to be reading, and I'll probably start my second book, which I'll talk about in a later clip. So it is about 3 in the afternoon. It is sprint time. So Sasha has started her sprint session for today, and I am currently in the middle of 1,000 Years of Joys and Sorrows by Weiwei. The dust jacket is off, so I cannot show you the cover. But so, this is a memoir by artist Ai Weiwei, who is a Chinese artist. Like his most well-known work, I guess, to the general public is the stadium that he made for the Beijing Olympics, the Bird's Nest. But he is an artist aside from that, and so I have been to some of his exhibitions. I really like his work. His work is very much more like a modern artist. But he has had a very fascinating history, and a lot more fascinating than I actually even knew, because going through the memoir, I'm finding out a whole lot about, his early childhood, for example, because his father was also very famous in China. His father was a famous poet, and his father went through multiple incarcerations, first for being a leftist, then for being a rightist. And so Ai Weiwei actually grew up for a big part in some of these situations, in some of these encampments, along with his father, as he himself was also one of these sort of like unwanted figures, being the son of a rightist. I'm really enjoying this memoir so far. I'm about 70 pages in right now. This is the one that is most likely not going to get finished this weekend, because it is like just under 400 pages long, so it is quite a lot of page count to get through. But so I'm about 70 pages in at this point in time, and so I'm really enjoying it. I first of all really like the way it's told, and the at the moment intermingling between his history and his father's history. But also there's just some beautiful language in there and some beautiful insights. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. And so I'm very happy that like all three of the books that I'm currently reading, I'm really enjoying at the moment. And so that's making it easier to get through so many pages this weekend, hopefully. All right, it is like 10 o'clock at night. I have just finished my first book. So I finished The Membranes by Chi Tau Wei, which is the one book that I'm not really going to talk to you guys about. And I'm also not going to say whether I liked it or not, because basically that's kind of information that for the integrity of the prize, we are keeping until the moment in which all judge members have been able to share their thoughts and ideas about the book. So I will have a vlog go up with my full thoughts on this after the price has been processed, after the results have been processed, and so that will be at the beginning of June. So you'll have my thoughts then. But I finished it, so I finished my first book. I only have about like half an hour to go in the Leopard as well, but I'm keeping that for tomorrow because that's my only audiobook. And then I do have quite a lot to go in A Thousand Years of Joy and Sorrow, so probably that one won't get read. At this point in time, I think I've already read some 8 hours today, so nowhere near the 12 that I would need to do to get to 24 and 48. But I'm already pretty proud of 8 hours in a day of solid reading, like really reading. I've only tracked the moments in which I've actually been reading. So, like, this is not just me sitting down from 12 to 5, for example, and counting that as 5 hours. I've only put down the actual time that I've been reading. So that's pretty impressive, because I'm not a marathon reader. I just read regularly, but I cannot read for a very long time normally. So very proud of myself for that. And I am also really enjoying myself. So that's a good thing as well. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow with my progress then. And hopefully we can still get quite a decent amount of pages done then. already talked to you guys this day, actually, but it's already 5 o'clock on Sunday, and I'm taking a break now because I'm really struggling right now. And I knew I was gonna struggle if I did what I ended up doing because I finished one book yesterday and then I finished the second book this morning, meaning that I only have the longest book left and I cannot like switch between books when I'm kind of tired of the one, for example. So I always need to continue in that one. And don't get me wrong, I'm really enjoying that book. So I'm really enjoying A Thousand Years of Joys and Sorrow. But I am also struggling with sticking to it for so many pages in a day. So I've already read over 100 pages in it today. So I'm over the 200 page mark at this point in time. But as I said, I'm taking a break. I need like a longer break to replenish my energy, so to speak, I guess. And then hopefully in the evening I can still get quite a decent chunk of that one done so that I'm like close to finishing it. As I said from the beginning of this vlog, I didn't really anticipate being able to finish all 3 of the books, but still at some point, still somewhere there's always that hope that I will be able to do it, but so I'll probably won't. So I did finish a book this morning, as I just said. I'll talk to you guys about it later. Now I just wanted to like quickly film this clip to update you guys because I'm actually in the middle of a movie. So I'm watching Murder on the Orient Express because I really want to watch Death on the Nile, and even though I know that they're not connected to one another for some reason or another, I still feel like I need to watch Murder on the Orient Express first before going into the newer Hercule Poirot new adaptation for Death on the Nile. So that's what I'm watching now, and I should probably also kind of decide what I'm gonna do for dinner because maybe I need to defrost something for that. So yeah, I am gonna be checking in with you guys again once I'm back to actually reading, but now I'm just gonna enjoy a nice little quiet, relaxing movie time. Alright guys, it's a quarter to midnight and I finished it. So yeah, I finished it. In total, I have read for 16 hours and 10 minutes actively, probably a few minutes more because I wasn't really fully finished when that final timer went off. So 16 hours, so not the 24 and 48. But I'm still quite proud of that, 16 hours actively reading, so whenever I was taking a break or anything like that, I didn't count that. And in total I read 606 pages in those 16 hours, but clearly I need to go sleep now, so I won't give you my thoughts until tomorrow when I've had some good night's rest and can talk to you guys in a more clear manner about the books that I read. Hey guys, it is actually already like a completely different day. I'm not gonna face the window clearly but the problem now is that, I guess I'll just be like Cleo half-faced because yeah, the light is too bright for me to look in that direction. But so yeah, you can just have half of my face. But so I have not rounded off this vlog, and so I definitely need to do that now. So the book that I never talked to you guys about, I believe, in this vlog was The Leopard by Giuseppe Tomasa di Lampedusa. So this is translated from Italian. It's an Italian classic. It's set on the island of Sicily, and it is all about basically the sort of like end days of the Sicilian aristocracy. I don't know too much actually about the backgrounds to this time period, but basically it seems to be like a regime change within Italy that's gonna have major impact on the current aristocracy. It's gonna elevate people from, not from the aristocracy. It's gonna create a sort of like nouveau rich class where, the regular citizens, the middle class, will be able to gain riches and will be able to gain a sort of lifestyle that's comparable to the aristocracy, and so your title, your blood becomes less important than your money does. And so we're seeing the sort of like heydays of this aristocratic class and the sort of fizzling out of that way of life, basically. It's very much a sort of atmospheric, character-driven read. There isn't a whole lot that happens within this one, and this is also why this one went in for the prompt of intimidating read, because I have seen a movie for this one first, and I enjoyed the movie, but not a whole lot happens in the movie, so I wasn't really sure how I was going to feel about this book, because it definitely had the potential to drag and to be something that I would actually not get through. But that was definitely not the case. I found this one to be really compelling. The first chapter was somewhat difficult to get into, I think, because of all the names. I had to get reacquainted with the characters, and I probably had an easier time with this one because I've already seen a movie. But in that first chapter, definitely, I was a little bit lost at times and like trying to regain my balance. But once I got past that first chapter, I really liked the style in which this was written. It really was easy flowing. There was a sort of like sarcastic humor to it at times that really intrigued me, and I really enjoyed this a whole lot. It really went by a lot quicker than I thought it was gonna go. And so it's not necessarily a book that I would recommend to a lot of people, because it definitely does not have a plot, or almost no plot, and it does definitely meander around, and there's a lot of content that you could say, like, what is it doing there? It serves no purpose. But I did definitely enjoy it a whole lot. So if that sounds appealing to you, if you want to read an Italian classic, if you haven't done that before, then The Leopard is definitely one that you could try out, because I definitely had a great time with it, in spite fearing my experience with it in advance. And then the second book that I haven't talked to, like, I haven't given a final sort of like wrap up for, is A Thousand Years of Joys and Sorrows by Weiwei. So I really enjoyed this one. I really love Ai Weiwei's art a whole lot, and I feel like the language that was used within this book also was really beautiful. He never went into writing the way that his father did. His father is a famous poet, but he definitely has a knack for putting things into words, for creating beautiful images with words as well. And I just really love learning more about what his father went through in his lifetime, more of the specifics about the way that Ai Weiwei's career unfolded, and the way that his relationship with the Chinese Communist Party unfurled. I knew about his captivity for 81 days, but I didn't know too much about, what came before that, what led up to his captivity at that point in time. And so I found it very interesting to bridge those gaps. And it was also nice to have that sort of link with his artworks, because I've been to two pretty big exhibitions of his work, and so I've seen quite a number of his installations at this point. And so not all of the artworks that were referred to within this one I've actually seen, but there definitely were quite a few in which I could also link the experience of having been in one of his exhibits and watching that installation and seeing the story behind it. Definitely was an enrichment for me, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I am now very eager to go to another Ai Weiwei exhibit, but I don't think one is going on at the moment, so I'll have to be patient a little bit. But yeah, all in all, a really successful reading weekend. So I think I already said in my previous clip, 16 hours and 10 minutes of reading, 606 pages, 3 books finished. I only started 2 of those in the weekend. One of them I had read most of it. So for The Leopard, for example, I read most of it. I just had to read, like, I don't know, some 70 pages maybe during the weekend. So definitely the majority of that was read before that. So it's a little bit less impressive than starting and finishing 3 whole books, for example. But it's still a whole achievement. I'm still very happy about doing it. And I really like, from time to time, putting these challenges to me. I think I'll do another one in May, because in May it's going to be Becca's Bookoplaton 48-hour edition. And so I'll once again challenge myself to read as much as possible in that weekend. But now I just need a little bit of a break, I guess. But so yeah, I'm gonna round up the video here. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you guys for the next one. Bye!